Hi everybody, let's create something in Photoshop. We're going to start up our Photoshop and click Create New. Now let's print something that is going to be, I don't know, something that's going to go to dye sublimation. So we have sheets of paper that are 8.5 by 14, so let's print out one of those. So I'm going to change my width here to 8.5. Now notice it's already in inches. If it wasn't, let's say I had in centimeters to start with, you do need to make that change. So I need to make sure I change it to the size I want first and then change the value. So I have 8.5 as my width and my height is going to be 14. Okay, now for resolution, let's make our resolution 600. Okay, this will be important as resolution we'll talk about later, but you want to make sure you start with a good resolution for your file. If you make something too big, then maybe your file will be too big. Okay, under color mode, we do want to have RGB color. Sometimes you might want to do CMYK. We'll talk about that later. Okay, now everything else looks good, so we'll go ahead and click Create. So here's my space. Okay, all I want to do is create some shapes. On the side, you see this panel here with all the different options. Okay, I want you to notice that if you click on an option and hold, other options will be available to you. So we are just going to make some type of shape here. So we're going to find our shape tool, okay? And if I don't see it in my window here, which sometimes you won't, you can change your workspace. So I'm going to go back to my essentials because it's a nice little starting point, nice little basic spot to be in. Okay? So I want to make a rectangle. So I'm going to click and hold where I see rounded rectangle, and there is my rectangle tool. Now up above I have my fill and my stroke, and let's make these colors a little better. So whatever you want to do with these colors, I'm going to make my fill red, and let's make my outer stroke like a little, we'll do my fill red. Let's try that again. And my outer stroke, I want to make that maybe a nice light blue there. Okay, now pixels, PX for pixels. My stroke is going to be a little thicker for this one here. So I can increase my stroke, and I'm going to just click and drag and make my rectangle. Now, if you don't like your pixel size here, you can make that stroke bigger, all right, or smaller. That's too small. Let's do a little bigger there. Okay, there. Make it whatever you want. Okay. Now, let's make another shape. So let's go with a circle or an ellipse. Now, when I do an ellipse, if I have this ellipse tool and I click and drag, I can make that ellipse any shape I want. But if I click and hold shift, it will make it a circle. Okay, so shift will create things that are going to be more symmetrical. Okay, so I'm done with that one. There it is. I have my shape here. Again, I can increase my stroke if I need to. Okay, same thing with a rectangle too, though. If I go back to rectangle and I want a square, I can just hold the shift and now it'll make it a square. Now I'd like you to play, mess around with different things, and look under assignments on how to submit your assignment.